What's going on, guys? It's Coach Steven with 15 points of tennis. Now, we've all heard the saying, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And what do I mean? For me personally, okay, I'm going into coaching sessions, I'm going into playing sessions. So I need to have my bag ready and prepped. If I don't have the lesson plan, or if I'm out there working on the strokes by myself, I need to have some gear that helps me along that path. If you haven't been following my channel for many years, I've hit two hands on both sides, two-handed forehand, two-handed backhand. And recently I switched to a one-handed forehand and one-handed backhand. So I am as much a student of the game as anyone else. So we're going to talk about some items in here that I keep in. I'm using the racket. I've been sent this by Tennessee Williams kindly over the past 2 months to test trial, and I've been really enjoying this bag. But we're going to show you everything I keep in here so I'm ready for both my practice sessions and my coaching sessions. Now, one of my favorite items I keep in the bag is this travel chair. And it's just a cheap one on Amazon, but it's lasted me years. And of course, it's nice to sit down when you go to a public park that doesn't have a bench. Okay, you get to take a break on the changeover. But more importantly, this is an excellent development tool. Whether you're by yourself or, I'm working with a lot of the students. Okay, you can sit on this chair and crank some strokes out. Forehand, backhand, slice on both sides. Now, what does this chair allow you to do? Well, once players are standing up, even just hitting, you think you're trying to keep your body still, but it's hard to isolate the area you want. We've all heard, I've been asked a question before, is tennis an arm sport or a leg sport? And well, that's an interesting question, because on defense, tennis is definitely a leg sport. But on offense, tennis is an arm sport. How good is your arm at just snapping that ball? So in order to improve your arm, okay, and make it and really feel the effects of the power focusing. Again, we're going to show you just sit on this chair, and you can really isolate, feel your core strength, feel the snap. Again, this has been an excellent tool for me transitioning to one hand on both sides, and a lot of the students who are trying to develop that pop, especially when you want it to come from the right muscles, being the upper body.
If you're new to a drill such as this one, I recommend you start with your racket back in a set position and see how much force you can generate from a still position. I want you to swing easy at first and then slowly increase the acceleration, because it may be working new muscles that even standing up, when you think you're not using lower body and feeling isolation, in fact you are. So this is the purest form in terms of getting the snap on the ball and really working the muscles that are primary to focusing power at contact. And lastly, do not forget to include some slice, as this really helps refine your position of strength at contact.
The next easy and convenient item. Now, these weren't even built for tennis, okay? These rotating discs here, all right? You can get them on Amazon, no problem, all right? Just put them simply on the ground. It's a nice luxury to have someone hand toss you some balls, all right? You don't want the discs too closed off here necessarily, okay? Probably at a slight diagonal. Obviously, different positions can be for different purposes. But now we are training the horizontal rotation, back, and through. Now, obviously, you see right here at contact, if you watch my ankles, when they snap, being able to time that rotation while keeping my head very still. You see so many players, they're moving their center of gravity when they hit, but look, this is like almost lazy man's coaching. I don't have to say anything once I bring the balance discs out, because the student knows exactly when they're off balance. And so, of course, whether you're coaching another student or you're coaching yourself, and I do have to say, coaching myself is sometimes more troublesome than any student I've ran into. But this is a phenomenal tool to break out and carry in your bag.
At first, you may find yourself having a hard time just trying to balance and hitting with only your upper body. But after you get comfortable, bring the awareness to your feet, and you should feel them turn from the side fence on the side from which you're hitting to being perpendicular to the net, and timing the snap of the feet at contact. And really, this is a foundation of your rotation and getting rhythm on every shot.
Now, I do want to pause for a moment and say this bag, one of the reasons I've enjoying it, it has a phenomenal structure to it. Again, that 1680D ballistic nylon, when they hit it from different sides, they build a nice shell into this bag. So, whether I'm stacking up things that have the potential to be squished, or a lot of things in here, my rackets, everything feels like they are well protected. And really the main reason why, I'm going to continue using this bag even after that test trial for the first couple months here. So the next item, and a little more, less accessible, because again, you buy each of these things and things start to add up. As a coach, it made a little more sense to me. Again, a good lazy man's coach's way of having students improve and focus on something without me telling them hit the sweet spot all the time is to use a saber. So anything you hit, of course, you have to focus on driving through the ball. You keep the racket very level. An excellent way to get, especially the younger students, to really watch the ball and focus when they hit.
I believe for most advanced players to intermediate even, this is not that necessary, because most players have a pretty good awareness of whether they're hitting the sweet spot or not. But nonetheless, it always feels great and a reminder of what an extremely focused sweet spot feels like.
And the last item we're going to pull out real quick is this. They have a 400-gram racket and a 500-gram racket by Tolson. A little less self-explanatory of what this is used for. I mean, this is a beast. We're talking like, 17, 18-ounce racket. Far too heavy to play at all with. I mean, you can maybe rally at best. It's just unreasonably heavy. Now, I've used this even with some kids on the younger side, and the question is why? Well, we all know that when it comes to seeing the ball and hitting the ball, the most important move is what's called this turn right here, this unit turn. Of course, when the ball comes and I'm taking the racket back with my arm like this, see, this is a very slow motion if I start back with my arm. Instead, if I keep my arm still and I just rotate my body here and pivot, this is a very fast motion. So even if you're just feeding and people are kind of doing this excess motion with their arm, well, now they have to turn here with their body, use their body to lead, and let the racket follow. And then it's a much more effective way to hit. So perhaps when it comes to unit turning and taking some excess out of your swing, this may be an excellent tool.
As a cautionary tale, do not try to hit the ball hard at first, especially if you haven't used a tool like this. I've used this with very young players as well. I'll have them choke up on the grip, take some pressure off their forearm. But even at that, this is excellent for that unit turn. And your wrist should not be sore if you're, again, keeping your arm still, your wrist still, and just controlling the racket with your body.
And again, not all tools work for you, but they work for enough students where if you even try a couple of these tools, you'll get something that hits home and can improve your game in a very easy and straightforward way. So, okay guys, it's been a while I've done these videos, but thanks for tuning in, and hopefully see you on the next one at some point.